In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight and sitting across from me is the one, the only, Cash Krause.
Yes,
Cash,
sir.
how you doing?
Good. Back for another Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes, sir.
Of course. A
usual.
chilly Namaste Wednesday this week. We had to survive blizzard-like conditions.
Yes.
I had to hire a Sherpa just to walk over here.
We had to cancel our meeting this week, too, that we
We
were
did.
initially going to. So, if you didn't see videos for 1 or 2 days, guys, we literally got, what was it, like 10, 12 inches of
12
snow?
inches of snow, in which we do not get snow very often here.
No, everyone was panicking. The world was ending here.
Well,
Walmart shut down.
Walmart did shut down.
That was wild.
Yeah, not Safeway, though.
No.
Safeway says, we don't give
We
a
always take the
fuck about our
Safeway.
workers.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah,
It
was the biggest. It was the most snow we've gotten in a few years now. We
For
do
sure.
rain. We can handle.
Of course.
I could fucking.
We rain all day here.
I can drive. I can go 90 miles an hour in a rainstorm anywhere.
Yeah.
But once that white stuff starts falling, people go panic mode.
Now, this is not like a geography podcast, but one thing I do enjoy about the rain, when I go and visit other states, no states compare to this great state of Washington.
Yeah.
As far as greenness.
You pay for it.
You do.
And in California, you pay for the sunshine through taxes.
Yeah.
So everywhere
Trust me.
you go, there's some kind of give or take.
I
No place is perfect.
I still receive like residuals and stuff from the films I did as a child.
Yeah.
The taxes are insane. On a $740 residual check, I got $430.
Oh, yeah.
It is crazy.
Well, I work in Oregon, too, and Oregon is crazy.
Oregon has high
Of course,
taxes,
Washington, we have it really good because we're one of the few states that have any income tax.
Yeah.
Most states have income tax. But, yeah, well, I don't know why we're getting into that.
No idea.
But we're not here to
That's what
talk
we
about
do. That's our
geography or
intros.
income tax
No.
because that's a very boring podcast.
It is.
We are here to talk about it's not new, right?
It's not. No, this
new.
film was a 2018 film.
Yes, we are here to talk about a 2018 Hindi romantic drama, a
Yes.
rom-dram.
A rom-dram. Not a rom-com. Rom-dram.
Yes, which most romance films are dramas.
Yes, or you get that,
There's never-
laughable, lovable comedy.
That's a
which-
rom-com, but there's
yeah,
never a romance that isn't a drama.
It's true.
So-
There's got to have some drama in it,
It's-
right?
it's not
It can't
just-
just be perfect.
It's exactly. It's not just two people hanging out having a great time for 2.5 hours.
And our favorite films to review are romance.
We love them.
Romance films.
No,
Absolutely.
not a huge fan because most of the time they're not. It's not like they're good films. Most of the time they're just shitty films. Like if there's a really good romance film, I'm sure I could get behind it and be like, oh, I can find something that I enjoy.
Of course.
But yeah, mostly they're just shitty. But this one is called Sir. It's the title is confusing because on Wikipedia page it wants you to think it's just called Sir.
Sir. But it's
On
Sir.
Netflix, it wants to make sure
You
there's
know
a subtitle.
that is love enough.
Yes, Sir is Love Enough. 2018 Hindi language rom-drama again. It is Hindi language, but there is a lot of English in it.
There is a lot of English as well, starring Tilotama Shome, and Vivek Gomber.
I'm not sure. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
You know, Cash, we do talk quite often about how romance films definitely are not our favorite genre. And I'm very curious to get your take on this film because I walked away from this film going, wow, that was a really well put together romance.
Yeah, I would much rather see films like this from Bollywood or Hindi than I would a lot of the over-the-top action because this one is much more well done.
Yeah, it's very grounded.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes that don't have any dialogue at all, and I feel like that's a big thing of not just Bollywood, but just films in general. Of like, if you have to have a scene, you got to cram it with dialogue. Right. Like someone's got to be talking. Mm-hmm. That's not the case at all. There's a lot of scenes where it's just letting the actors be, and you're just absorbing what they're doing, which I liked a ton.
For sure.
You have to cram in them fucking constantly talking. It was not a lot. It was a lot of just silent stuff, which I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
It was done like a much smaller film, not like an indie, but like an independent film.
Yeah. And definitely so much on the independent aspect of this.
Oh, for sure.
Because I kept watching this film and kept waiting for the romance to brew, and I loved the build-up to the romance.
It's all build-up.
It is build-up, and it's not this eccentric, over-the-top, this climactic moment where they finally fall in love and everything's okay.
I like that.
It's a very open-ended ending to this film, and I absolutely love the way they executed this.
That was my best... my biggest takeaway from this film was the pacing was really good. It didn't, like you said, I felt they were going to get together in the first 20 minutes because that's usually how it is. And then from there, they fall apart. Mm-hmm. They go up, then a big down, and then they come back around. Yeah. That's how romance films always go. That's one thing about romance is they are the most predictable genre of film. That and horror. Horror is very predictable as well, unless it's done really well done, and then you don't see anything coming. But yeah, romance is it's usually just so fucking predictable. But like I said, they don't really make any physical contact until 2/3 of the movie. Yeah. And another thing we got to talk about is this movie 130 minutes long. Fucking great. Well, 139.
No, it was 99 minutes.
Oh, I mean, an hour and 39 minutes. An hour and 39 minutes.
I was like, hold on, what?
It's 139
Did you get the director's cut? Did I not?
Yeah. Thank God I didn't. But,
nice, short, and sweet.
Very short, especially for a romance film. It's perfect.
I think that sets, in that we talk about it, but it helped with the pacing of the film being just 99 minutes instead of versus 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yes.
2 hours
if this film was 2 hours and I could see someone trying to stretch it.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be very hard to watch.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah, the pacing was phenomenal. I loved the story a lot of how it was, again, not so over the top and ridiculous that you felt that it was a very realistic look at how this scenario would go down. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's a very odd scenario. And it's not odd there. Right. It's odd for us to see. But it's just so odd that if two people want to be together, that they can't be together.
Based on like societal rules.
And that goes from that just blows my mind about any, racism, about gay people. It blows my mind that two people, if they want to be together, they're not hurting anyone else. They literally are hurting anyone else. They just can't be together.
I know.
Because a long time ago, just a small group of dudes just said it's got to be this way.
It's got to be. You got to marry within your, caste or whatever,
Yeah.
Got to marry a rich girl.
But the whole time I was thinking, take her back to New York. Yeah. New York, they don't give a fuck.
Well, that's the thing, too.
If you marry your mate, they encourage it.
Yeah, of course.
Roundabout, you're not dating your maid? The
fuck's wrong with you? Millionaire old men have married their maids.
Oh, they had a Seinfeld episode where he starts banging his maid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
common practice.
It's very. No one looks down on it.
No, they don't. They don't. As you said, they often encourage it. That sort of behavior.
I don't think the maid service encourages it.
Not necessarily. They're losing an employee,
But seriously, because the whole story is this guy. He's kind of westernized because he lived in New York for a long time with his gal.
He wanted to be a writer too.
Of course. You got to go to New York for that. And he moved there with his woman from India, and she ended up cheating on him.
She did.
Of course, she got that little taste of that New York life.
She did.
She got one of them New York Italian boys.
She couldn't refuse an Italian boy.
So they break up. We don't see any of that, thank God. No, because we definitely, if this movie was longer, I feel like would have got into that. And we would have got a flashback at some point or something. Don't need it.
I love the way that they did that. It was short, simple, sweet, to the point. There were a couple phone calls, maybe flowers left, but that was it.
Exactly.
That's all you needed.
But you had the full story.
Yep.
You went there. He came back for his sick brother, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's because it was his sick brother, but his fiance
Yeah,
also
was cheating on him.
yeah. He wasn't voluntarily telling everyone that
He
part.
wasn't. It's like, yeah, just my brother.
Yeah,
was sick.
just my
Not-
sick brother. Just a good brother. Just a real.
He is a good brother.
But yeah, so that's the story. He goes back, and basically that's it. He's got a maid. He's always had the same maid. It's not some new maid.
No.
But now that his wife's gone, though, and it's some weird thing where the maid can't really stay there anymore because it's just him and the guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rules to it, but they end up breaking the rules.
Yeah, they
say,
do.
Fuck it.
don't
I'm
care.
gonna maid. Look, I'm not gonna take the bus here every goddamn day.
You expect me to clean up my own apartment?
Yeah.
You're crazy. I gotta have a maid.
So yeah, it's exactly. So that's pretty much the story. Super fucking simple, which I love.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And I thought it showed a lot of different sides of Ashwin's life, the lead male in this. I thought it showed too, like, I was waiting for him, and this is what I love, the setup to the second time the friends were around. I really thought he was going to do something just minorly shitty towards Ratna. You know, he never did.
Well, it was kind of the both thing where it's like you didn't want him to do something shitty and you didn't want him to do something that was like too obvious they were together.
Yes.
So you're like, which he ended up doing.
He did do. Should I wait for you?
And that's the big part of the movie for me was like, it was it's much riskier for the maid, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and it's hard for anyone to really understand that. Yeah, it's a small risk for you, but a fucking giant risk for the maid that will ruin his life. And most of the time, he doesn't really see that until his friend pretty much breaks it down for him. But his friend, he was, it was like half and half. He was like, "Look, you can't do this. It's gonna make you look bad. What are you gonna invite the maid to your family's house?"
Well, and that's a sad thing too in this society is, Ratna brings it up. She does a great job of like kind of laying it out for us to understand because we don't understand it as well. And that's what I thought this movie did a great job of, is explaining the caste system and how this actually like works. And she said, people are always, your family, your mom will always hate me. She will always look at me as the maid, not your wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really sad because it's like, as you said, like two people can't just fall in love and be in love.
No. Yeah, it's fucking it's wild.
It is.
It is wild, but yeah, he's really the risk. She's not. She's got to because she's got to take care of her family and everything. That's why I said just move to New York.
And there were simple things throughout this film that progressed this relationship in very subtle ways. I thought one of those, which was really awesome, this was a touching and tender moment when Ratna made, obviously her whole setup was she really wanted to work as a tailor, right? And like make clothes and whatnot. And she was training
She wanted to be a
that.
fashion designer.
Fashion designer, yeah. And, she worked for this asshole for a month, never taught her anything, just
Well, he wasn't
basically made
paying her.
be the maid.
Yeah, he wasn't paying her.
She
She's
walks
doing
out of
free
that.
work, yeah.
Yeah, and then Ashwin eventually, was like, hey, here's this new sewing machine, and then she makes him a shirt.
That was a nice shirt.
It was a nice shirt, and he goes, not really my style at first, and I go, oh no, he's gonna crush her, and it was so sweet, dude, because he wore the shirt,
it, yeah.
and then she was like, sir, are you gonna wear that to work? And he goes, yeah.
He's like, yeah, and then he leaves the door and changes out the shirt immediately.
Yeah, he's like, I got another shirt. No, he wears the shirt, goes to work, and his father even said that he loved the new shirt that he was wearing.
Yes,
And
that's
that
a big
made Ratna
win.
feel really good.
That's a big win, yeah.
But it's so sad too because obviously Ratna told Ashwin that, hey, please don't tell anyone I made you the shirt because it's a bad look to have your maid be wearing or be making clothes that you're wearing.
I know.
Put two and two together, you would see that the
But if your maid's a
relationship was
fashion designer, then you'd be like, I'm just testing the product.
double dipping, baby. I got a maid.
You got to
and
get
a
one of
tailor.
your maids in.
Yeah, for real. Why can't you have your
'Cause that
driver do something else too?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe your driver is also a cobbler.
Or a
He's
great,
making you shoes.
great cook,
He's making shoes.
something like that. Oh, I thought you meant beach gobbler. Look at
No.
what my fat ass was thinking.
Yeah, you don't. That's not those people are called bakers.
They're all called bakers, not cobblers.
There's not a specific job where you only make cobbler.
Cobblers.
I mean, that's a very specific
Yeah,
role.
it is.
It's
It
a
is.
very
To be
specific
fair.
role. And a specific restaurant, too, that only
Yes.
makes... Yeah.
I think you call it.
But no,
the
I mean, I'm
cob-
talking about you get a driver that can make shoes, you got a maid that can make... You got what else is there?
Have every one of your staff be super versatile.
Be good at everything, but... And then start dating him.
Right.
And then you're really,
you're in.
really adding some fucking
Yes,
confusion to the pot.
absolutely.
But yeah, it's a crazy thing because it's like everyone gives her. Everyone is like against this.
Yeah,
like the lower caste is against this, the upper class, everyone but these two people. Because when at one point he's getting a little risque with it. They go to that party that they have to go to, and he at the very end he's like, "Hey, you want me to wait for you to go home?"
And all those other
Yeah,
servants were giving her a lot of grief. They were looking at her like, "Are you kidding me?"
Exactly.
And then they mock Ashwin.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he's gone, they go, "Oh, should we wait for you, Ratna?"
Yeah.
She's not very happy about that, man.
If I was there, I'd be like, "Yeah, get it, girl.
Yeah,
Go,
yeah.
yeah.
Move up in the
Get
world."
yours, yeah.
But of course, no one wants that. No one. I mean,
No,
obviously
you don't
they don't
want-
want to see someone climb like
Exactly,
that.
yeah,
You're
you
in
don't want to see-
our
yeah.
cast. You got to.
It doesn't make yourself feel better about yourself seeing someone else. So let's keep everyone down for
with
it.
us, right? Yeah, exactly.
Horrible way to think about it, but true. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I liked how it was never too over the top. The music, especially in romance film, the music is usually very sappy.
Yes.
It's usually like an 80-piece orchestra or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's telling you, okay, it's always giving you the cues of when you should feel sad or something. I liked when they went up to the
rooftop.
There
Yes.
was never, besides the moment when he's like, "Don't call me sir," and when because that was like in the trailer, that was a big part of the trailer.
Yeah.
And that was the only moment I felt was like really kind of just a little bit over the top. But even that moment was so like subdued. It was really kind of perfect.
Well, to go back to the music,
And it's
too.
not like they just started going at it either.
No, they didn't. No.
It's not like
It was
just
a very tender kiss.
Well,
that
yeah.
they had in the hallway after the fact.
Exactly. It wasn't even up at the roof. It was at the hallway before or whatever. Right. And that's all that it went.
To go back to the soundtrack real quick, you brought up the music too. That's what I loved. Is this movie was not saturated with music, background music.
Yeah.
They only added it in specific scenes, and it really wasn't that much at all. A lot of this film, as we went to and alluded to earlier, a lot of it had an independent feel to it. This film would have been a great, I know made in 2018, but this would have been a great COVID-19 film to make during this time.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a huge cast. A lot of it had to do in the apartment. In some way, they were able to make this whole thing just entertaining, and not even so much entertaining, but you wanted to see how this relationship was going to form. I
think the entire time you knew it was not going to work out.
No, and that's
You knew there was
sad.
there was no real world, or there's no real way that these people were going to get along in the world. I mean, they could have ran away. And then I guess she's leaving her family that she was taking care of.
She is.
So, and then
that's
he's
another
leaving
thing,
his
too.
brother. He's leaving his brother that he also take care of.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would be shitty just all around forever. But he does end up leaving.
He does.
I don't. Does it ever talk about the brother again? I don't know if it ever brings it up.
I thought the brother died.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, I thought he died.
Because that makes sense of why he's not brought up anymore.
Yeah, no. Yeah, because he came back to take care of him, and then he died.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think he was dead before we even got the movie started. He was already dead when he came back, right?
Yep.
Brutal. Yeah, because I was wondering, like, they never bring him up again. Like, that was definitely just an excuse for this guy to get back to New York. But
I thought character development for Ratna specifically was really well executed as well, because we look into her life. Another aspect in her relationship was her sister, and I felt like she was trying to live through her sister by funding her education to go to school.
And this was brutal.
It's so brutal, bro, because she paid for school for 4 years. She has one final exam, and she decides to marry this man. And it just crushes Ratna.
Yeah.
It really does.
Fuck. That's when I'd move to New York. New York's the fashion capital of the world. They don't give a fuck where you can. Well, they probably do.
A little bit. There's a lot of snobby people in New York. Insufferable people, for sure.
But
I can
still.
imagine in the fashion industry as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you got the shit, if you got what it takes, you'll get there. You know,
Of course.
that's where you gotta go. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. You know, that's the saying. But yeah, I
Listen to
felt.
Alicia Keys.
But yeah, that right there was like fuck. At that point, I was hoping she was just leaving the family and would just get with fucking Ashwin.
Yeah.
And the names Ashwin and Ratna sound like they come out of like medieval a fantasy novel. They do not sound like Indian names at all.
Yeah.
Ashwin
I think
and Ratna.
we've heard of Ratna before.
Have we?
In one film, yeah. I wanna say that we have.
Ashwin definitely sounds English.
Yeah, it does.
But I mean, they were ruled by Britain for a very long time, so
were,
I'm
in
sure
all fairness.
English culture seeps in there somehow.
I think what do you combine those two? Would it be Hinglish? Hindi and English would be Hinglish?
Yeah, it would have to be. It wouldn't be
England?
England.
Yeah, no. Let's
No,
go with
you got to do
Hindi. Or English.
English sounds much better, but yeah, it's a very, I don't know how much we can talk about it. It's just a very simple film.
It is.
But the kind of films I'd take this film over a majority of the films any day. Yep. It's just, you could tell it was someone really cared about this project. You know, it seems like everyone on there really cared, and it was obviously is not just for money, because I can't imagine this movie made a lot of money.
No. I mean, we don't even have a budget or how much this film made.
Yeah,
But I could not imagine this budget being very much. I mean, there's no CGI, there's not any stunts or anything like that. So I'm sure they made this for, not too much.
I really wonder if this was a kind of Western joint project, because this film definitely feels like one of those where we do it and then people like yell at us, be like, "This was a Western production."
Yeah, how dare
because it was going to premiere at Cannes Film Festival, which is a fucking huge deal, obviously. Or it did premiere at Cannes Film Festival, actually.
So it was, the production company is Platoon One. I'm trying to go to their website right now.
Yeah, they don't really have.
I don't really know if it would be an American one, but I wouldn't really be shocked. No, this looks all Hindi. And the producer was obviously the director as well, which is Rohina Guerra.
Yeah, I know, but it's edited by Jacques Comets.
Jacques Comets. What a cool name.
And Baptiste Rebrant, which neither of those sound like Indian.
No.
But maybe they went out. I mean, those guys obviously sound like they're French.
Yeah, they do.
But maybe they went out. That's a huge thing that we talk about in India is the editing is always kind of wacky. So maybe they went out like outside of India to have it edited or something.
Well, I thought the editing was great.
Perfect.
Yeah,
It's
I thought it was
very
great
good.
for this.
Yeah. And that goes into the pacing as well.
Oh, this film was theatrically released in India on November 13th, 2020. So though it premiered at Cannes in 2018, it came into theaters just a few months ago.
So it is kind of a new
It is
film.
kind of a new film. Yeah.
That's very very bizarre.
Yeah.
So maybe we're one of the first people to see this.
Overall, Cash, I think we're concluding this.
Yeah.
Overall, what were your thoughts on this film?
It's good. We just so happened to record it right around Valentine's Day.
We did? Unbeknownst. That wasn't even planned.
Oh, absolutely not. Because if it was planned, we probably would have been smart to release it on
Valentine's Day. Yes, we probably should have.
But I think it's a perfect kind of romantic film you can watch with your significant other. And it's not just mushy bullshit.
Not at all.
It's not just relying on the romance. It's relying on the drama much more than it is the romance. Yeah. Which I would recommend it. It's good.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go out here and say that this is my favorite romantic film that I've seen in India thus far. I really enjoyed this. We've done a couple now, but this one definitely takes the cake for me. I thought the performances were great. The editing was awesome.
Yeah.
Even the sound design was really good too. All around, I just absolutely love this movie. And these are the romantic films that I have no problem sitting through.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I love to see how the relationship is going to develop and form. And I thought this was executed very well. And I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys drama films or romantic films. And this was also a good film to be able to kind of understand more. We watched The White Tiger. We reviewed it on this podcast a week or two. But this helps me get a better grasp on a much subdued version and a more realistic version of this kind of caste system or even this rich and poor system that they have in India, to where it wasn't so over the top where, Ratna is like massaging Ashwin's legs and stuff.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So this one was much more realistic.
Or she did go on to murder the entire family.
The entire family, yeah. No, it was much better than that, And Ashwin stood up for her too, because it did show that, Ashwin had these elite rich people over, and it was that woman's fault. She knocks over Ratna. She knocks the thing out of Ratna's hand, and then she's like, "Oh, you idiot!" And I was like, "Bitch, you knocked it out of her hand."
Oh, of course.
What are you doing?
That is a kind of cliche, a movie cliche.
It is the cliche,
to show how mean rich people are. They're always getting shit knocked on them.
But to Ashwin's defense, like he stood up for her. But
Of course,
anyway.
who wouldn't? Honest, I mean, realistically, in these days, who wouldn't? I mean, who would go be like, oh, you're acting like a bitch?
I think we all saw that. We clearly saw it was your
Not only
fault.
that, but you're bringing down the entire vibe of the party
Right,
by
we were all having a
yelling
good
at
time.
I know now it's awkward. Now it's tense. Now no one wants to be at this party because you berated my employee
when it was your fault on top of that.
Yeah,
and
so-
she's out here making the food for you, making wine.
One good thing, she probably sew you a new dress if you wanted.
If you want. Hey, I'll make that
Throw
dress
that in
10
your
times
dress.
better.
She'll whip that fucking thing up in a
And
heartbeat.
second off, I'll make you a new dress, but you better watch out, bitch, because I'm making your food.
Yeah, she'll poison
And
you.
that's one thing I've learned. Never be rude to someone who handles your food and beverages. Always be nice. Because you know what? Have you ever watched the movie Waiter?
The whole thing is just bizarre to me to
your food.
have a maid and shit and like just it's just so weird to have someone like have a party and then have someone working there,
Yeah.
like serving food.
Serving people.
It's just fucking bizarre. Like I don't think it's that bizarre to have someone like call someone in to help you prepare the food.
Yeah.
and then them take off.
Right. Yeah, but to like literally walk around because people can't
It's
walk
just
up to the counter
It's
and
so
grab their own
old
food.
school, and it's just it's like for us, for Westerners for sure, it's like a forgotten thing. It's just very bizarre, and it's awkward to me.
Yeah, I'd probably feel real awkward if I went to a party and there's someone like handing out food
very
and
out of
stuff.
place.
I'd be like,
I'd feel like I need to talk to this person. Like,
I mean,
how are
unless-
you doing?
Yeah, unless it was their house and they're just being hostess and like, hey, you want to drink? Or
Oh
something?
yeah, that's fine.
But,
Yeah. If someone made that and then you go around, fuck, you can't do that. And it's like, well, yeah, you feel like you got to talk to this person that's getting.
Yeah, you
It's
gotta be
very-
nice to them.
It's just a very weird.
It is weird.
It's kind of weird to me that was ever a kind of normal thing. To have just this person in your house just serving, and you have to pretend like they're not really there.
Right.
Like this tray is just floating towards you.
Oh yeah. Oh thanks.
Because
Anyway,
when
yeah,
she's
so
going
it's like-
around, no one.
acknowledges her.
I'm not even sure they knew she was there because she goes up to one and she sits there for like 3 minutes and the
And they're
guy's
just talking. They don't even acknowledge.
That's a scene that made me more uncomfortable than the other scene. I thought this is fucking bizarre. And then it's like they're all talking and she's just standing in the corner like, okay, I'll just stay here. You pretend I'm furniture.
Right. That's a beautiful lamp there.
no, it's
I really like that lamp. That's actually my mate.
She's actually a living human being.
Yeah, she actually has thoughts, feelings like you and I.
She's completely conscious.
She is. And she can actually hear everything you're saying too, you asshole.
It's very weird to me.
It is.
I don't even think if I was a billionaire, I don't even think I would have people going around for parties and serving food. It's just
Not unless you had like a huge event in like a conference center.
hundreds
where
of
there
people.
were
It would have to be.
thousands-
There was 9 people at this
Right,
party.
exactly.
Okay,
I think you
don't-
can handle it. I think you as a host can handle 9 people.
Oh shit! I got 10 people coming. I need 3 maids.
One for every 3
Holy
people.
hell! It's wild.
It is. That's called fuck you money.
I know.
That's
It's
called,
so.
I don't know what to do.
I would need hundreds of people for me to have a
Yes.
single guy serving.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, very interesting. Interesting to see. Interesting to observe. In it.
For sure.
Closing thoughts. Good movie. Would
Right,
recommend.
yep, absolutely. Alrighty, well that wraps up our Namaste Wednesday Sir Is Love Enough review. If you guys like what you've seen here, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you want to find our podcast and listen to that in audio format, you can find that on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. And if you guys want some Have You Seen It merch, you can find that link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Kraus. And until next time.
Bye.